welcome. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Anthony Brown Show. I'm yours truly, Mr. Anthony Brown, joined by my brother from another mother, Mr. Legacy the Great. How you doing today?
What's going on? What's going on, man? ATL in the building. We'll be back soon. ATL ho.
Let's change the background. There we go. Yes, I like that background. Okay, yes,
Oh,
that's our new background. It represents the Anthony Brown Show and the ATL Show all at once.
you know
In
it.
the Yes, we got something on our mind, something to talk about, to discuss. So we had to come, at such short notice to come here to just share this with y'all. And it does Governor Ron DeSantis care about the people of Florida, the students as well as the instructors? And some mess has been going on in the news. So we're going to talk about it. Let's see, we already got some comments. Hey Tina,
Hi, Miss Tina.
Aunt Free. Hey y'all. Oh, it's T Savage under alias name.
No.
Okay, now Legacy has been all tuned into the news, so he could bring us up to par as far as what's been going on. So Legacy, take it away.
Um, Past few days, maybe right about a week now. Um, there's been a stance by y'all governor Ron DeSantis that where he has been making idle threats. To me, those idle threats are to the instructors, the teachers, the backbone of America's country, the educators, the 8 to 9 to 10 hour mother and fathers that sit in and pretty much watch and educate and babysit our children while we go out into the world to provide for our children.
Hmm.
And to have him make a bold blanket statement that if any teacher, any school, or any superintendent staff make it mandatory that masks are to be worn in their schools, that he will defund them and take away federal and state funding of the schooling and um, the payments of teachers.
Hmm.
Um, that right there alone is scary in itself for him to be able to make a bold statement like that and is trying to stand on it.
Hmm.
To me, I don't want no one to govern over me and mine and whom I love the most to tell me that it's okay for other individuals who could be what is called asymptomatic to a disease or a infection, and they can be infected and not have any symptoms and walk around freely with their mask off in places that are enclosed off amongst other people and not have any symptoms, like I say, fevers, coughs, chills, respiratory problems, and are asymptomatic, but they are carriers of COVID.
Well, how
Now,
was? Let me ask you this question real quick. Okay, since he's trying to cut off federal funding to those institutions that ask their students to wear masks, how can he have jurisdiction over federal funding if he's over the state?
well, that is
How's
the
that
thing
work?
that was the thing that I was pondering on because he's just the governor and he only has um, pretty much reign over the state of Florida.
Correct.
But a lot of people don't understand that federal funding comes in, is awarded by the United States federal government, and then it filters down to the leadership in your state, starting with your governor.
Okay.
And if let's say the federal government is still sending in that money, if he's holding it hostage, he has the right, I guess we could say, to filter it to whom, and well, not to whom, but at a time that he allots for it to be trickled and sprinkled in. My thing is, we also have another problem. We have two problems. We have teachers unions, I watch the news avidly, and to have teachers unions who have not stepped to the forefront and said anything or taking this governor to the U.S. Supreme Court, U.S. State Court of Florida, and I don't see any motions being filed on behalf of the teachers union, and I don't see no one.
Because they scared of them. That's the problem.
I, I don't see that these individuals are standing up and for the teachers. And even if those individuals whom teachers have placed in these positions are not standing up on the behalf of these teachers and children, the problem is the teachers themselves don't have the heart themselves to say, you know what, if you guys are not going to do anything for me, we as a whole are going to do something. We are not going to be bombarded and forced and manipulated into an unsafe environment that can not only affect the students and teachers and staffs in this facility, but we have to leave and go home. And now we are becoming a cesspool for diseases to carry on home to our children, our spouses.
Kids are scared for what? Lives are
Because they're scared of the backlash, because of the fact that these Trump Republicans, who are the governor of Florida and as well as my governor in Texas, is the same way. They want to do the same thing. The Trump era Republicans are on this thing to tear down our country, and they have a lot of backlash. Anybody that goes against them, they come back at them 10 times harder. They try to get rid of them. They get rid of their jobs. They get rid. So these people are afraid for their careers because of these Trump era Republicans. I'm just telling the truth. These Trump era Republican governors. My governor is a Trump Republican governor. Governor of Texas. Governor of Florida is a Trump Republican. Are afraid of these Trump Republicans are vicious and sadistic, and people are afraid of their jobs, afraid to lose everything they have.
you're breaking up. So legacy,
So,
what would you
You
suggest they
can't
do?
hear me?
So what would you suggest they do? Legacy, what would you suggest they do? He's breaking up real bad. He sounds like a robot. But
yeah,
what
I know I heard
would
it.
you do?
Uh, for me, I know teachers are afraid that this could mess up their livelihood. But if you do it in whole, if you do it together, if you shut the school systems down by going on strike and saying, if we do not get safety protocols implemented in our school systems to where we have, you got to read those.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes. And because y'all are afraid to stand up together, because y'all are afraid of not being able to pay your rent, because you are afraid that you may get behind in a car note, the cry out should be as a whole. And if the state of Florida's teachers decided to go on strike today and let it be known today that there will not be any schools without them. You can bring the substitute teachers in, they're not the equivalent of us. That's why they're substitute. And until they decide that enough is enough, this is why there's no increase in raising in their pay. They are the most important individuals. Tony, you got it?
Yes, it is,
They are the most important individuals besides our U.S. military to protect us. They are the single most important individuals in our country. They are the least paid individuals in our country, and they are the educators. And until they decide that enough is enough, they're gonna keep getting rotted without any Vaseline, and it's being shown to you right in front of your face, live and in color, that hey, you do what I say. And what the people don't recognize and understand is that there is no Ron DeSantis if y'all go out and vote and get rid of him. There is no Ron DeSantis if you say, guess what? We're going on strike. We're getting ready for an election for his position. And if you can't make this right, Ron DeSantis, matter of fact, when we come back, we need hazard pay. Nobody should be working in today's society without getting hazard pay. You're waking up every day with the risk of coming home with COVID and giving it to your family. So it doesn't matter if you go on strike and don't and have to be behind in your rent, because guess what? Rent ain't gonna matter if you're dead.
That's true.
Car notes ain't gonna matter if you're dead.
That's
so
true.
you have to take a stance against the tyrant. DeSantis is showing you that he is a tyrant. And what you do against tyrants, you stand against tyranny. And you make a stance. And you make it be known that you no longer will bully us. You no longer
Exactly.
You no longer will tell us what we have to do in a pandemic as if you are my father or as you're God. You're nothing. You're an elected official. See, DeSantis can talk this trash because DeSantis' children don't go to public school. DeSantis' children probably has in-home teachers that come into them in a sterilized place every day to teach them because they don't get the same education as public schools. They don't get the same education as magnet schools. They don't get that. They get private tutors, teachers, the best of the best. That's why he sits in that position. And if you think that he gives one red ass or one brown penny cent about if any African American or any low class individual that sits below him in the middle and poor class, you think he gives a damn about your children, you need to go get some tissue and wipe his ass for him because he gives no shits.
So you're saying, okay, let me ask you this. From my understanding, like under the CTA, which is Classroom Teachers Association, that's the union for teachers here in Palm Beach County. So if they collectively as a whole pull together, but that's only one county, and in the state of Florida has 67 counties. So, so what difference would it make as a whole if 67 counties, out of 67 counties, only one county or two counties, you know?
It doesn't make it. What it makes it is that everybody else it makes those two counties and those teachers, it makes them look like they are being rebellious and everybody else is going along with the program. I was always taught that one finger is not as strong as if you take all four fingers and a thumb and form a fist. So in order for this to work, at least 60% of every county and every school system in the state of Florida has to say enough is enough.
Hey family, I'm just so happy that this topic is being discussed. This is very crucial. Thank you, Anthony Brown and Legacy.
Who's that?
Quiet Storm.
Oh, okay. We greatly appreciate you, Miss Quiet Storm. We greatly appreciate all the teachers and educators.
How do you know it's a miss? How do you know it's a miss? It says Quiet Storm.
I hope a dude ain't calling himself Quiet Storm.
Okay.
So, but I have teachers that are in my lives. When I say teachers, I mean immediate family, loved ones that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a young Esther Green, T Savage. They're all educators, and I don't want to have anything happen to them. I love that they love the fact about going out into the school system and making sure that our kids and other nationality children are prepared to lead this world into our new future. So when I have two people that I care about, even though they get on my nerves, uh, it is affecting them and their livelihoods and their children, then it becomes personal to me. And at any day that Ron DeSantis feels that he would like to address not legacy, but Antonio Williams on any forum, you can always hit me up on the Anthony Brown Show or the ATL Show. Matter of fact, you the government, you know you can find me at any time, any place, on any email. So I'm here. But I will stand up. And it's just sad that our teachers don't have the gall to say, you know what, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do it. To the parents that want to send out their children to knowing that there's a pandemic that could affect their child's lives and are arguing with the parents and the teachers who are saying, no, don't send your child out with a mask. It's just ironic that parents can say, well, my child is saying they can't breathe with the mask on at school. But it bothers me as a black man that there's been many black people who have said that they can't breathe with a forearm around their goddamn trachea and windpipe, and officers have been let off free for choking the shit out of them.
Amen.
But you tell me that your mask is choking your child. Well, maybe now you understand a little bit of what black folks go through when there's a whole arm about 18 to 22 inches thick wrapped around their trachea and choking the life out of them. Because I'm pretty sure that your child decide that he or she wants some fresh air, they can lift that damn mask up and breathe deep.
Now, this is what I don't understand when kids are just being lackadaisical and complaining for nothing, being trivial. Because there's other countries where government gave them no choice, and other countries have mandated and made it mandatory that you do this, this, and this, and this for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, or whatever. And they basically had like 1% COVID. So they almost damn near cured it in their countries. Government didn't play with them. So it was, you're going to do this or you're going to get out of this country. Because here we kind of live. So right. why is it that the U.S. government is so spoon feeding the people and being such a bitch about it, so to say? I don't understand.
Well, you go ahead and read that right quick before I reply to him.
This is, I'm going through this right now because it's my daughter's senior year and we've been homeschooling for the last 3 years. She wants to go.
Well, to the young lady who just the comment we just read, I do understand. I understand you understand about that senior year of high school. I had one. In fact, I've had a son, one son. Matter of fact, two sons that are biologically mine and a stepdaughter. Matter of fact, yeah, to graduate in this midst of this pandemic, and from 2020 up until now, and to see them miss that milestone in their lives, yes, it was hurtful, but I would rather my child miss that moment in life and live to get to the grandest achievement in life, which is to go off and go to college or go off and be whatever he or she is going to be in life, and say, you know what, you don't always get, because the world is not fair and life isn't fair, you don't always get to partake in every process in life because other people did. Sometimes you may have to miss that process in order to live on to have a grander process and a grander ceremony later. To be dead from catching COVID and not be able to attend your graduation is just as bad as, matter of fact, even worse, as not being able to go to your graduation but be able to finish high school.
I'm trying to tell her that, Legacy.
Well, at the end of the day, you are the parent, and you make the final decision.
Right.
And if you have to step in and use your authority, then use it. But if not, then we just gotta pray that nothing happens, and she has to, lay on a bed and think about what her mother was trying to express to her while she suffers, trying to get over and recover from COVID. They say that a hard head make a soft ass.
Right. That's what my mom used to tell me.
That's what they say. Give me 1 minute, y'all. I'm sorry, but excuse me. Give me 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to, for those of you that are with us, I just want to remind you that if you need to comment on anything, definitely write your comments below in the comment section, and we will show and reveal your comments on the screen. That way, everyone can see your comments and see your views and your opinion, and we will respond accordingly. Also, this is the Anthony Brown Show, which is a division of the ATL Show. The ATL Show is on vacation right now, and we will be returning August the 17th. And when we return, our first show for the premiere of the season is going to be called The Family Reunion. The Family Reunion is going to be a show where Legacy, the co-host, he's going to be reunited or united, not reunited, but united with siblings that he's either only seen once or have never seen at all. So it's going to be called The Family Reunion. It's going to be a very moving and touching episode. So I definitely advise all of you to definitely tune in on August 17th, which is a Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock to see our season premiere, season 2 premiere show. So again, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and definitely comment and share this as well. And you can always find me on the Anthony Brown Show. We're on all Spotify, Anchor, Breaker. So any podcasts out there, internet radio, you can find us. Just search the Anthony Brown Show. And you can find me on as well as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
To get back, I had to handle something right quick, but this is my issue. I know every state has its own laws and policies. That's the state level.
Mm-hmm.
But we have what is called a federal government, which supersedes state law.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is I don't understand why our commander-in-chief and his staff, as the president of the United States of America, and y'all woman who everybody went out and, I gotta go vote for this black woman to be the first vice president, Kamala Harris. How do you guys sit up at home in the presidential estate and suites and things of that nature behind y'all wall of protection, pretty much immune from what goes on into regular society on a day-to-day basis? How do you guys sit up and hear what the governor of the state of Florida and any other state say, that they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, if anybody in the school system makes it mandatory for people to be protected and to protect our children? How do you sit up there and there has not been one announcement or one addressing of where you or her or anyone from your immediate cabinet or staff have said anything about what Ron DeSantis has to say. This is why I tell my black people, and I'm talking teachers, white, black, blue, green, and yellow. We have to stop putting people in that position of Joe Biden, Trump, or any other president who don't give a flying about the American people. We were so afraid running from Trump that we ran into a more quieter, lesser, dumber Trump by putting Joe Biden in this spot. This man has not addressed anything pertaining to the livelihoods and welfare of African American people since he's been in office.
Hey, everybody.
Since he's been in office. And us, and when I'm talking about the Negroes. We are sometimes the most dick-riding, fat-jumping, trend-setting people on the planet.
Most forgiving.
Most forgiving for anything that goes on. You didn't do your research on Kamala Harris. You didn't understand when I was telling y'all on this Facebook that this woman has passed more laws and sent just as many black people to prison on long prison term sentences for less violent criminal crimes, just as Hillary and Bill Clinton did. And just because she was black, you women went and got yourself your voting rights to good and go. And you had to go vote to get you a black woman in there. You got you a black man in there. Now we got to have a black woman. Sometimes it ain't always good to have the first anything because sometimes it doesn't change the situation. And your president and your vice president, all teachers abroad, haven't done a damn thing yet to stop governors and anybody else from infringing on y'all right to protect y'allselves and y'all children. And then again, until you guys make a decision that y'all are gonna stand as one unit across the United States and sit down and say we will not educate, you can bring your ass out of the presidential seat and you can get in the classroom and teach amongst 25 kids and we don't know who got COVID or not. Or you can come from out your governor's mansion, wherever it's at Tallahassee, and come down here in West Palm Beach in the heat of things, where teachers have to deal with children coming in classes with fevers and things, and they don't know how to deal with that. And it's just a mess. And y'all got to get people in on y'all union staff, teachers abroad that are willing to shut a system down. I mean, it bothers me that we see that our vote will put certain people in places if we come out and we vote in large masses of numbers. We see that we
hold those people accountable.
Huh?
You got to hold those people accountable.
Yeah. So if you can vote to put these people in, just imagine what the numbers if the teachers decided that we're not going to school. Do you know what that means? That means that somebody got to reevaluate. I guarantee you, if all the teachers decided that they wasn't going and they shut school down or put it in a place to where teachers are not going and you got to find all these substitutes to fill in and da-da-da-da-da-da, guess what happens? The governor has to listen now. Not only does the governor have to listen, but every governor, every U.S. senator, every Republican, every Democratic candidate that you have put into office are noticing that, you know what? They're starting to learn. They're learning that their numbers do matter. They're starting to learn that, hold on, that these people are starting to open their third eye and understand that they don't run the government, that the people run the government. It bothers me that being in the places that I've been, where I've sat in a federal prison before, and I've seen a prisoners get rights and be treated right due to the fact that institution of 2,200 inmates said that they were not going to work detail, that they were not going in the kitchen detail and cooking, that they were not going outside the gates and cutting people's yards and stuff. When 2,200 inmates decide that they're not going to do nothing, the governor of that state comes down and talks to those inmates to see what can he do to make this situation right so everything can go back to normal. And if prisoners who are supposed to be called, quote unquote, the scum of the earth can get him to do something that nobody else can do, y'all are free citizens. And I know that y'all can stand together and make it happen out here. Get off your asses, stop talking about it, and do something about it.
I know that's right. You sound like you finna run for election.
Now,
okay, legacy for governor.
They'll have to assassinate me because the first day I'm in office, we're gonna make some real changes. We're gonna definitely get some laws out here that's gonna protect not only blacks, but we're gonna definitely implement that first. But we definitely gonna get it out here to where our police will be held accountable for their wrong, taking the law in their hand, being the judge and jury. And we definitely would make some changes if I was governor.
If you was the governor, they've been adding on a stripper section in the Capitol.
It's definitely gonna be some indiscretions going on in there.
Okay. Like, oh my. They go like clutching their pearls.
Oh man. But I don't know. I'm just very passionate about it because I have a son that's will graduate this year. Also, be my last son that'll be graduating, and then I have my 9-year-old daughter, and I wonder, especially the little kids, their immune systems are so underdeveloped, and most people don't realize that. Most people don't understand that when you looking at children in school, the nastiest place in school is pre-K, VPK, and kindergarten. And why I say that is most of those little kids don't know how to wipe their nose yet, don't properly know how to, cover their mouth and stuff when they sneezing and things of that nature. Some parents send their kids to school with running noses, infections, and things that they just want to go ahead and get that child away from them so they can go and do what they want to do, and that give them some free time. I'm sorry to say we don't have a lot of parents that really love their children like they should, but that also leaves the teachers to be that mother or that father for that time being. So now he or she has to take their time away from other students to take that child to the bathroom, to clean his or her nose, to train that child how to cover his mouth and nose when he or her sneezes, things of that nature. So kids get viruses, stomach viruses, more in elementary school between pre-K and kindergarten and first grade than they do at any time in school.
That's true.
Because their immune system is trying its best to fight off whatever's happening. Those kids are just trying to have fun and learn. But you got, mucus coming out your nose. And they may wipe it with their sleeves and they touch it with their hand. Now they pass it along to their friend. And it's just nasty. And those teachers at that younger level from pre-K, VPK, kindergarten, first grade, they have a hell of a job to deal with. And then you want them to deal with that, but at the same time deal with COVID. You're asking for a pandemic. You're asking for a catastrophe. You're asking for that. And the only reason you don't care about it, Ron DeSantis, is because your child does not attend those schools.
That's true.
If your mammy, Ron DeSantis, was in a nursing home and the pandemic was knocking at her door, you'll be trying to have the whole building quarantined to make sure your mammy didn't catch COVID. So make sure you look at that situation the same way. And I did say your mammy.
You like my mammy.
Yeah, get your Negro dictionary and look up that word. And I'm pretty sure somebody on your staff will tell you what that means.
You know what a mammy is. He probably had a couple of mammies working for him back back in the day. And his
Or his
forefathers,
grandfather.
his grandfathers, and yeah, you know what a man
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
ain't no them. But speaking of government, I'm still angry with Biden about, like you said, there's so many bills or whatever signed to assist blacks, um, and nothing's been done. But then the Chinese come along and the cage get rattled for about 2 or 3 weeks, and now all of a sudden you sign something into law.
Well, that's why I tell you, these are the things that we, our people, have to understand, that we have to go and start seeking out the individual as a whole unit of black people to decide who we want to represent us in those upcoming elections. We have to start appointing people that we want to represent us, not who they think we will accept to represent us. Biden has never been somebody that I thought could represent me, because you've already told me out your own mouth that you, long time ago, that you never think or thought that your children should go to school with black people. But because, like you say, we are the most forgiving, accepting race of people, that it does not matter what any race does to us, as long as they throw up in our face that the Bible said that you should turn the other cheek and you should always forgive. I also know that God had gladiators too. And he also had people that fought in his name too. So we don't always have to forgive right off. I don't have to forgive you today, Tony, because you offended me. I can forgive you after you tell my ass up, after I tell your ass up, and we get some understanding, and then we can talk about it later, and I can forgive you because I done got what I need to get off my chest. You done got what you needed to get off your chest, and we can find some type of middleman or ground, level ground, to where we can start respecting each other. Nobody respects a person who continually accept themselves as being a doormat. And black folks have had their face and ass wiped upon from other races for a long time. And I'm sorry that we do not know how to shake this slave mentality.
That's true. You're absolutely right about that.
So teachers, before we get out of here, I know I'm just a fish in a big sea, ocean, and I'm talking, but I'm talking sincerely. I'm talking from compassion. I'm talking for love of y'all. The education that I have, it took a teacher to give it to me. And I will always be in debt to you, ladies and gentlemen, who gave me knowledge, gave me fortitude and intelligence to be able to speak like I do today. I would like to, Mr. Lothar, go ahead and read that, Tony.
Parents send their kids to school looking like Roscoe. Looking like Roscoe. You are a shark.
Thank you, Miss Quiet Storm.
Not a fish.
Thank you. But I remember my first grade, my second grade. Matter of fact, I can tell you my teachers from kindergarten all the way up to probably my 8th grade year of middle school. Miss Keys, Miss Green, kindergarten. First grade, Miss Cole. Second grade, Miss Atkins. Third grade, Miss Norman. Fourth grade, Miss McIntyre. Fifth grade, Miss Lee and Miss Williams. Sixth grade, Mr. Rush, Miss McLeod. Seventh grade, Miss Patrick, Mr. Lothar, Miss Sepulveda. I just have to think about it if I go through middle school, but those are all of my teachers. And for me to remember that from kindergarten to right at the 7th grade door, they were very impactful people in my lives. Like I said, I grew up poor. And I remember I had a teacher, Miss Atkins, who the walk that me and my brother had to make every day to get to Pineville Elementary, we would get to school late sometime and couldn't make it to breakfast. And my teacher would bring boxes of cereal for her kids who didn't get a chance to eat breakfast, and they can go in the back of the class and eat a bowl of cereal with milk if they wasn't able to make it to school on time. That's love. Those teachers that take the time on days that they can just go home, that make that extra call at 10 o'clock at night to speak to your mama to make sure you get yourself together. Those teachers that take the time to pop up on your house on a Saturday when they ain't supposed to be home tending to their family, then you think you don't gotta wait for the weekend, and here she is rolling up at your address. That's love.
Mm-hmm.
I had those teachers.
I had a teacher like that.
I had those teachers. Miss Esther Green, I know for a fact that she takes her own hard-earned money and go buy snacks to make sure that every day that her kids have something on their stomach, even after they've eaten lunch, and for them to, be able to get through the rest of the day. That's her own money that she takes from her household that she can give towards her daughter, but she pours it into other kids that she loves.
That she could sponsor the ATL show.
Yes, and she sponsors the ATL show as well. We give kudos out to y'all, ladies and gentlemen, that put your lives on the line. You're just as important as an officer of the law, as a firefighter. You're just as important as, if not more important than the president of the United States to me. At least y'all are on the front line every day.
One thing I would like to see done, and I don't know how to do it or how to implement it, and maybe it should be us to start it, but like those people that's in, when they get those positions, like I think you had brought it to my attention, like Senate or Congress, that's a lifelong position. I think there should be a limit put on their position, whether it's 4 years or whether it's 6 years, but their term should end at some point. That way you can get new blood in those seats, get new ideas, new thought process, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things. Because think about it, if the average person that's still in those positions, in those chairs, that's in their 80s, late 70s and 80s, that means they couldn't possibly think on the lines of a person that's in their 20s or 30s. They're definitely different generations. There's a major generational gap. So I think that those positions, there should be a cap. Like I said, whether it's 4 years or whether it's 6 years, but they all need to expire.
Well, what they do, Tony, is, and you don't hear about these elections, and like you might hear the local level elections of senators and governors and things of that nature, and every 4 years you hear about the presidential seat.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really hear about those positions in Congress opening up where people can vote who they want. They don't advertise that stuff because those people are designed to be in those seats forever. And if you notice, the reason that the presidential seat is every 4 years is because as long as you have something to focus your thought on, as long as you have someone to put your issues and blame on, you're not worried about what goes on when Congress seats or the Senate seats are opening up. You're not worried about those because you're thinking, the vast majority of people think that the president of the United States will not country, when that's not true. He's just a figurehead that takes the blame for whatever goes on in our society. But the actual people that run our country is Congress and the Senate. Because even if he wants to do something or she wants to do something, all of that has to go through them. And if they don't agree with what it is you're doing, they can veto it. They can kill the bill. And if you do not, like you said, put new blood into those positions to think along the times that we are now in life. Like right now, the average age of a person in Congress or in the U.S. Senate is anywhere between 58 and 64. I think 2 years ago, the oldest U.S. congressman retired at like 88, and he was in office since he was 44. You mean to tell me somebody in your state for 44 years went out and voted for you to be in this position for 44 years? No, because if you don't have anyone to challenge you for your seat, when those times come, they automatically give you that position back.
But that's just it. We don't know when those times come, and
okay,
like those seats don't expire.
But I'm gonna say this again, and the police love to use this statement: ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we have to get educated. We have to get reprogrammed. We have to have our people who say that they care about the American people to start getting out here advertising that it's time to elect or time to vote for these congressional seats. Because I don't never see them advertise for congressional seats.
Never.
They never do it.
Are they appointed?
No, nobody is appointed. Those are elected officials.
Okay.
But that's why I say the president is just a figurehead. If it's like this, if I cause chaos over here and everybody's looking over here, but I'm stealing money and hiding it over here, as long as you stay focused on the hand that's causing the chaos, you can never see what I'm doing behind my back.
True that.
And that's what our government does. It makes smoke screens, cause different problems. When we was watching TV yesterday, Tony, it said that the government has over $49 billion that has been allocated to help people who are being evicted from their homes. That out of the 49 billion, this all came through that with the stimulus money and all of that other stuff. Out of the 49 billion that's allocated to be helpful to people to pay up their rents and things and all of that, only 3 billion of those dollars have been used. $48 billion. And it said yesterday that the people who are over it in the House and the Senate are trying to find out why hasn't this money been used to help people that we allocated this money to be used. See, when you're worried about, but this is when people go to stealing. When somebody tells you there's $2 trillion to be used and we're going to give it out in $1,400 stimulus checks, we're going to give you out in PPP loans, we're going to issue it to the banks so the banks can distribute it out. You're focused on your money, but the government has not gave you an itemized printout of where every dollar that this money has been allocated to see how does this money add up to this. So when you got that much money being used as a smokescreen, all your government officials have their hands in the pool to take millions and millions of dollars for themselves. The government don't print out a printout sheet, an itemized copy sheet to show you where every dollar went at, and nobody asked them to either.
That's true.
So until the American people get tired of being used as guinea pigs and saying you're doing this and doing that for the government, all of them are lining their pockets. And until you get these old people who are used to be doing things and stuck in their ways out of those office positions and put some new blood in them to change every country in America, every country across this globe is starting to advance and enhance themselves to where they are superseding the United States. They are surpassing us because they are constantly evolving, because they are constantly involving their young people to change and to carry on what they were doing before. If you are not a successor of somebody that they want to bring you in and take you up under their tutelage, and you're going to continue to carry on how they think, they're not ready to put you in those positions. So therefore, we have to go take those positions. We have to challenge them at every election. We have to challenge them at everything that they do. We have to make them prove to us that these things are actually happening, and this is why we need to do this and we need to do that. Until then, they think all Americans are dummies. Tony, what you know? Went to sleep? You got so quiet, I almost heard crickets.
No, I'm just here thinking.
But that's pretty much all I got to say on the matter. I just want our teachers to stand up without the union or with the union.
But they're not going to.
Well, it took a while for the slaves to revolt. It took a while for us to get certain things, but maybe if a couple of teachers started dying in the classrooms because they took their ass to work when they shouldn't have, then maybe that's when things will change.
Yes. Actually, I wish some teachers would have come on this live, because I know in my family there's at least 10 instructors, 10 educators. And then like you just named about 2 or 3 yourself. And then so they could have come on live or even share some comments in the their views in the comment section if they're watching. That would have been awesome.
Well, you know how this little girl keep calling me. Hold on, Tony.
Hey, I need my school clothes.
She went and got all that yesterday.
Daddy, I want my pink shoes.
You ain't get no pink shoes. But you know how people love to gather, Tony, and talk about, oh, this should happen, that should happen. They're just talkers, they're not doers.
Now she texting you?
Yes.
She's number one.
Yes. But
like they say, who run the world? Naya.
At least mine she do.
Okay.
But, oh, Tony. That's her 3rd time call.
So let me ask you this before we get off here, because she gonna let you have it. So what is the solution?
Unity. Strong unity. If you want some, Frederick Douglass inspires me a lot. And I remember one of his greatest quotes was, without struggle, there can be no progress.
That's true.
If you are not willing to struggle and fight, there will never be any change. Teachers, if you're not willing to sacrifice and put it all on the line to get what y'all need and want, don't look for any changes to take place anytime soon.
I just want to remind everybody once again, tune in August 17th for our season 2 premiere of the ATL show at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 8 p.m. Central. The Family Reunion, where Legacy the Great Our co-host will be united with some his siblings that he's seen once or not at all. So the episode is called The Family Reunion. So definitely tune in. It's going to be a very momentum show, to say the least.
Everybody, ATL, ho.
Here's a mess.